So I'm learning as I go, and I made a mistake, a horrible mistake, but we are turning a mistake into a win.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, sitting to my right, your left, is one of the best keyboard players in the world. Honestly, one of my favorite keyboard players. I'm doing this intro again. You've seen him with Joshua Redman. You've seen him with Haim. You've seen him with Lewis Cole, Thumpasaurus, many of the great bands in the world. And he's also working on his solo stuff. He's got a record coming out soon. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Cornish.
Hello.
On video. We are doing this episode because, as you will notice, the other pod we did does not have video. That occurred because I made a mistake and the video was corrupted. The file was a horrible story. Anyway, the point is, Paul was gracious enough to come back and play some piano, because in the other episode, which you can see, I'm going to upload it to YouTube on my channel, just the audio version. The conversation was amazing, but we didn't play any piano, so I figured, not to be discouraged, I figured the best way to go about this was to do an episode where we play a little more piano and screen record it.
For sure.
And just get further into the music of Paul Cornish. How you doing, man?
Good. How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing well. Just making music, making pods. That's what we're doing. Making some mistakes and trying to right my wrongs, dude. Well, what's up with you? What's you been up to?
Man, I just been like experiencing like downtime for the first time in a while, and it's been amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thankfully, like this year has been full of a lot of like traveling and playing. Like you mentioned, some of the people I play with, and this is kind of the first time I've had like a few weeks to kind of just I guess regroup and reflect before going back out again. So it's been really nice, and to just kind of plan for the future, and also just rest and be still.
Nice. You practicing at all, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I need to be practicing more for sure. Yeah. I mean, as you know, I just moved, so there was definitely like a few days without like a piano, and then
true.
I just got like a new piano, so I'm starting to get back into the flow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, last time we talked about like some of your influences kind of briefly, but we didn't really actually get too deep into any of them. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to ask you, and maybe the questions can lead to like playing some things. Yeah. If you feel.
For sure.
But so you told me your first big three was Rob Glasper, Herbie, and Monk. If you could say a little bit about each of them.
Yeah. I honestly can't even. I feel like Glasper was the first, and I think that's kind of where Herbie and Monk came from, because like my teachers were always like, "Oh, well, if you like him, you should check out the people that influenced him." I was like, that makes sense. And then obviously like I feel like Glasper's always talking about Herbie. Also, one of the first albums I actually bought myself. Shout out to Half Price Books. They had My Funny Valentine by Miles Davis, and that's how I got into second grade quintet, and I was just totally blown away. Also, one of the first tunes I learned was Cantaloupe Island, so I think it was all kind of happening around the same time. And then how I got into Monk, I think was Glasper's. He did a cover of Think of One. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is just a crazy tune. Oh. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites, too.
Yeah. It's incredible. Wow. And so... And then I think I can't remember if I said it last time, but I think one of the trickiest things getting into this music is kind of just finding yourself in it. And I feel like the players and just like the masters of the music plays such a crucial part in it. Like representation in general is just important, but like as far as like identity and expression, I think it's important. Kind of seeing how different people express themselves, so you can kind of see how you might be able to. So I think those three for me kind of showed me a different way in which I can find myself in it, because I wasn't like great technically. Like I didn't have a lot of technique, I should say. Even though I was studying classical music, I just like, I don't know, something wasn't really lining up.
You were a late bloomer with the technique. Yeah, definitely. And I was also like a drummer first, so I think kind of hearing like the rhythmic approach that a lot of them had, and then like especially like Glasper's like harmonic sense, that I don't know, I feel like that kind of allowed me to get in. Yeah, that's true. Those three aren't really the craziest like technique, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Herbie obviously had, I mean, they all have amazing technique, but like it was specific technique, I would say. They didn't have like the universal, they didn't have like the universal technique of like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think I'm similar to, I'm also I'm such a late bloomer. I still haven't bloomed yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
One day.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like you're there, but
very debatable. I hide it well.
Dude, speaking of technique and things, I mean, should we just like play a little bit? I'm curious, like, I'm curious, just like what type of stuff you find interesting these days, or like what if you were to practice a new idea, like what's something you're like trying to add right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I'm always trying to figure out, like, understand old ideas actually, but Sullivan Fortner.
Should I get you a stand for that actually?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Here, let me actually get you.
I was down to just like, how did that magically appear?
Wow, look at that. Yeah, that's crazy. Studio magic, dude.
Truly. No, I remember this thing Sullivan Fortner told me a long time ago, just about each tune kind of having like a sweet spot, or just like I don't know. Yeah, he said sweet spot, and so I'm always thinking about that with each tune. Ooh. And in general, I think I'm always trying to go like more inward than outward. Like I always tell people, like, I think all the information that you need to like play a tune is in the tune. So I'm always, I guess, trying to like look at or find a wider perspective of like looking at a tune. So
by the way, do you need a sustain pedal? I'm realizing there isn't one out.
I think it'll be fine.
And then when you say sweet spot, is that a tonal thing? Is that a tempo thing?
I don't know. He didn't really specify. I should follow up, but I was just like, okay, you know, maybe it would just kind of reveal itself, and like maybe it's different things for different people. But whatever that kind of means to you, I think, I don't know. The beauty is like in trying to figure that out, or trying to arrive at some place where you feel like that's the case. So, I don't know, like. Oh yeah.
Ooh, why don't I do that? It's so nice.
I never. The funny part is like when you just look at playing the tune, like I feel like things like that kind of continue to reveal themselves over time. So like,
oh man,
I don't know. I just try to like look. I don't know. Just try to have a curiosity about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like doing like the C7 to F minor,
Yeah.
where you go over B flat and then you go over A flat, then G, so that way you get and then back finally to F minor. Just like little moves like that are so nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I know that's not what this is
No,
about.
no,
I did kind of interrupt and be like, oh, why don't I do that? It's such a
that's part of it.
Simple move. Yeah.
That's really part of it.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I guess that's a sweet spot in a sense, right? Like the harmonic thread that you go through is a sweet spot in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think another one for me is the turnaround in the first half. Because that dominant 2 only happens that one time.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know. I start thinking of everything as like either approaching that or like coming out of that. Like there's so much you can do to like set that up.
Right.
In a sense. Yeah. I don't know.
So setting it up, like you mean like playing, let's see, sometimes people play what comes right before that, like a C minor, right? Yeah. Or a C dominant.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, let me see. Yeah, on that beat 1, usually I play a C minor, for instance. It's the same idea.
Yeah. And then, I mean, because of you know, there's like so many different substitutes.
Ooh, is that like a B7?
Yeah.
Oh, I never think to play that chord with the F sharp on the bottom. That's such a pretty way to have like a flat 3. Mm-hmm. I never do that.
And then that opens up a whole other thing. Like now you can go to E.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Oh shoot.
So yeah, I don't know, when you kind of like set, maybe it's not the sweet spot, but like maybe it's just like these anchor points. I was actually talking to Pinson about that, like, but like having.
All roads lead back to John Pinson, dude.
Exactly.
We always talk about Pinson. Me and Braxton were talking about Pinson. He's been coming up a lot in this podcast, but anyway.
Man, I heard him the other day. He sounds so good.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, as he always does. But
John Pinson, for those of you who don't know who we are referring to. Although if you are a fan of this podcast, you probably know at this point. Anyway.
But he was talking about how he thinks about rhythm in these like anchor point type of things, and then everything can kind of be like shiftable as long as you like land on these anchor points. But when I like to think of like harmony in that way too, where you have those like pivotal things that kind of ground you know, wherever you start or wherever you land. And I think when you start thinking about it that way, there's so many ways, so much more to explore.
So like what other anchor points in this tune are there? So there's the F7 moment, which I think about a lot. I feel like this tune has a lot of them, actually. That's why everyone loves this tune so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even that's kind of a...
Yeah.
It's such a like a left turn in the first 4 bars.
Exactly. I would say that's one for sure.
Yeah.
Going to that. But yeah, no, definitely. Because it's like, what even is the tune like without that, you know?
Right. It's hard to, you can't.
There's almost no way to like you have to like
gotta
address
have
it
you have to have that diminished in there somehow. Yeah, it's just not the same without that. They have to have that F sharp note.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this tune has actually been the tune that I've learned the most stuff on, because I keep it just I took a lesson with Murrow Sprague, and he showed me a bunch of stuff he chose this tune to show me stuff. You're choosing it right now. Eric Reed did the same thing when he was showing me how to play stuff. He just went straight to this tune, and he did something really nice, which people do, where you go after do 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 dee, or actually on that melody, playing like a B flat minor and going like, you know what I mean, like, or whatever. But that, like,
yeah,
I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many pretty, because the melody is so pretty. So then, like, if you do like simple things like that, like a 2/5 to the 4, it just sounds so good. It's like one of those tunes. But anyway, but yeah, I think that end of bar 4 has to be one of those anchor points. Definitely, yeah. And then I think that's like, you have to. That's there's a lot of like, or like, I think about the gravity, like there's a lot of harmonic gravity there. It's like a lot of things pulling and like, exactly. And then at the end, what do you think about the second half? I feel like that's kind of one. Definitely. Yeah. That's kind of like a drama point there too.
Yeah. That's one I think about a lot. I think that might be the sweet spot.
Wait, yeah, can you play through that part too? Play the second half of the form, yeah.
I bet you that. So. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, I also love that, like that you did like that little E flat 7 right before. It was kind of like what I did, but instead of the 2/5, but you did it in a way that was like even cleaner. Anyway, it was like only an eighth note of it or something. Yeah. I can't remember. It was just smooth. I also noticed your voice leading is so, or not even, it's not voice leading, but dude, I have students ask me all the time about hip voicings, right? Everyone wants to know hip voicings, but you're not doubling anything. Oh, this whole last 15 minutes, I don't think you doubled a single note.
Honestly, I feel like,
and your voicing, it sounds so clean.
The funny part about that is like I can do that when I'm not thinking about it. But if I were like with a student and I was like trying to give them an example of like, don't double any notes, because that's what my teachers told me.
Right.
Don't double any notes in your voicing.
That's such a good way.
I always double if I'm showing people. But
right. Yeah, I shouldn't have even brought it up. But
no, you get, now it's gonna be all double.
It's over now. I ruined it. But dude, you have such a clean sound. Like, just, it's so cool. I noticed that with Jacob Mann too. He also, is it because, did you study with Russell Ferrante as well?
Yeah.
I feel like that has something to do with it as well, because I know that he's into that.
Told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jacob Mann also studied with Russell Ferrante, and see, we're getting into some this is some inside baseball piano stuff right now. If you study with Russell Ferrante, which I have not, but it's my understanding, he really preaches that. But
and voice leading,
and voice leading is
like two big things.
Yeah, something I learned from watching him when he talks about counterpoint. He's like, everyone's when you're doing drop twos and you're voice leading, that doesn't necessarily mean you're playing counterpoint, because it has to be counterpoint. You have to have melodies going in opposite directions for it to be counterpoint.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, what are some? I mean, yeah. What was that like studying with him?
Man, it was great. I feel like I wasn't really prepared for it at the time.
Interesting.
Because I studied with him my freshman year, and this would be actually an interesting thing to talk about. But like, so I was fortunate to like go to this like performing arts high school in Houston, which like some amazing players. Like I was literally like a year behind James Francis, and then another one of my homies, Sterling Overshawn, was another amazing pianist. But I feel like it was very easy to be motivated because like you just had people like that around that were like constantly pushing me. They were like bringing me into the practice room, and they're like, and also just like the level of my high school, like or like the alumni, like Robert Glasser went there, funny enough, and like Jason Moran and like all these people. Ooh. So I was just like very much just like the pressure was on, and I feel like just like going to college in general, like I don't know, you're just kind of like on your own. But all that to say, like, I feel like there was a different type of like motivation I had to have. Like, I had to be more self motivated going into the program, and along with like also just like adjusting to like college life and like kind of being on my own for the first time. But all that to say, I feel like a lot of stuff that Russ was showing me, I didn't really like give it like the just thoroughness that like I needed and like focus I needed to really like get the most out of those lessons. And I always say I wish I would have like studied with him later so I can like so I realized what he was like showing me and like applied it. But yeah, that just turned into a full confessional. But
that's all right. That's a good lesson for people who are going into music school right now. Because I did the same. I mean, we all do the same thing at some point. Like, there's always a space where, like, you know, where when you're maturing, you're not going to listen to your teachers as well as you need to, you know, type thing. And when you're 18, that's going to happen.
Like, yeah, I was 17 too.
Yeah.
Like, I was really just like. Yeah, I was like kind of feeling myself too. I'm like, I got a really good scholarship, and I was just like, man, I'm doing it. Secretly deep on the inside, I wasn't going around telling people, but I was just right. I don't know, but yeah, but Russ is great. He showed me a lot of things about like voice leading, as we said, and like the drop two, not doubling voicings, and then I feel like another one of his big things is like the 1-2-5-7 voicing.
Oh yeah,
that's like a sound of an era. Really,
everyone loves that sound. I love that sound.
I feel like he's kind of one of the architects of like you know. But it's just so many.
Play. It could happen to you with as many of those. I know you can. It's kind of a tough thing, actually.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough.
I feel like he's like into it.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
So wait, you're throwing in. I'm trying to understand what just happened. Like you did one like this. I think that's what you played, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. Wait, maybe we're talking about two different things. That was really nice. What is this? Or like, how did that?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I might have thrown that in there. I don't know. That might have just been a spur of the moment. But yeah, all those,
that whole sound, yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, so it's like a whole family of voicings that you're playing right now.
That at least that's how I look at it. Russ might probably like he would be the authority on like or maybe even Jacob or something, but like that I see it as a whole shape. So even like the inversions of it, like
yeah.
You know? So I'm kind of constantly just thinking of all of those shapes as part of it.
Right.
And then I guess I just got to the minor four because I thought it was like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, I was just like seeing all the different inversions that you were doing. It was cool. Dude, you're really good at the slash chords too, for lack of a better term.
So that's Alan Pasqua. I feel like that's where because I don't know if I mentioned this last time.
You're so good at those, man.
He like opened up my eyes with like using the root of your chord, like playing the inversion instead of like the actual root. So I'm always thinking of like the chords of a tune, like and that's how I like that.
Yeah. Woo. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many possibilities if you just like mess around with the inversions of like whatever the root chord is. And so I think of like everything in stepwise kind of motion of like whatever the next closest inversion of the chord I'm playing, I just try to like move like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to ask this,
Mm-hmm.
because there also were like I saw a few moments where like you could have gone to another one.
Yeah.
Right.
But
like so, let's say if you're going to the next closest bass note, there's like one up and one down.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
Can you play again? And then like if you get to a fork in the road, like describe why you would pick one over the other, or you know what I mean?
That's a good.
Yeah.
So I'll start. Starting on the 5 is always kind of like the hardest in terms of stepwise motion, but so I'm gonna try my chances with the 3.
Okay. So this one could go.
Yeah, I mean you could stay on the E flat.
On the E flat, yeah. That's so pretty. Now what?
I might cheat here. So I'll make it minor.
Because if you like, for some reason going to E flat there just didn't feel.
No,
I thought the same thing. I was like, it'd be kind of, I don't know, not as strong. But C minor is nice. That's cheating. That's all good.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was cheating.
It's cheating. It's okay.
Same thing.
It's.
I'll go up.
Go to, yeah, because you did B flat last time. So that decision is because you didn't want to do the same thing as last time.
Yeah.
So that's just like extra points covering some more harmonic detail. You could stay. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Safe.
That was pretty though.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun to like make a game out of it too, because like, yeah, I'd say a lot of times so I'm not as strict with it when I'm like just like playing, but like if I want to be like, it's great for practice just to like go through tunes kind of with that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that I've never thought to play a B7 with F sharp in the bass in the context of an E flat tune. It sounds so pretty. It's like, so every so often I'll find a hole where I'm like, why didn't I think about that's just like so.
That's the story
it's so
of my
fundamental. It's so fundamental. It's like we play B7 all the time. I play an F sharp minor to B7 all the time. I mean, especially in the context of going to F minor.
Yeah.
B7 over F sharp to come down, because it's also this. It's like the same idea as a F sharp diminished.
Right.
You know.
I think I just like that sound a lot. Like Jerry Allen, she has like a lot of these type of voicings.
Oh yeah.
So I've been kind of getting just into like that sound and shape. And as always, also kind of like the Barry Harris thing, like the minor 6. But I guess that's not exactly the same thing, but like
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, he would play. Well, that's because that's the same as like a F alt too, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then he would play the F sharp minor diminished like this. You know about this?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Please.
bro, check this shit out. So this scale, right? You would have the F, it's like F altered, right? Or like F melodic minor. But then he adds that note. So check this out. So when you have, we could also do it for F alt too.
Yeah.
So then you can continue. But it's a cool sound when you have the D in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. That's dope.
So then if the melody were like, how did we get there? Where I can't remember where in the tune that is.
No. I have no idea.
Oh, right there.
I mean that works. Yeah. I think
even
you're
here
right.
like that works too. So you could go like.
Oh yeah, that was it.
You could like you know. That's just kind of that.
Yeah.
I guess it's not.
I like the downward.
And then maybe
yeah,
A flat major or like triad or F minor. It's like not a long enough moment to really like highlight it, but
Yeah.
because you can go. Because to him that's like one
Right.
harmonic moment.
Mm-hmm.
And and you know you can have.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a cool little thing to have that extra note. And I hear a lot of gospel guys do that as well. Like Aaron Lindsay does that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like a different context. Like,
right.
But like if you get to the 4 minor, like if it were like E flat, if you go to the 4 minor, there'd be like A flat minor, and then he would play like an E is in there. Like it'd be like a. You know,
Right.
And that in the middle. You know?
Right.
You know, yeah. Shout out Aaron Lindsay, by the way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Go. Sure.
But yeah, dude. What about ballads? What ballads do you play? Are you a ballad guy? Are you a big?
Yeah. I need to learn more ballads.
Me too.
There's always just. It's funny when I was in the institute, we like all made a list on the board of like a bunch of ballads that we're gonna learn, and we maybe only learned like 5 of them. But I really love ballads, but I'm trying to. I recently came back to like Body and Soul, but like not as a ballad. Like I just like it was during this intro, but like
oof. Oh. Wow.
You know, just like flipping it like that. But
that's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because you came back for the we don't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. That like 2-5 to the 6, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was choice, bro.
No. Thank you.
Oh but, man,
Monk ballads always blow me away. I've been like slowly going through like some of
so good.
Yeah.
It's so unstoppable.
And there's like maybe this is cheating. Like you should transcribe it, but there's a guy that actually went through and like transcribed Monk's tunes.
We talked about this last time. Yeah.
So
remind me his name again.
I don't remember his name because there's like 3.
Oh! I thought you were talking about the record that we talked about last time, where your friend recorded all of the Monk tunes.
Miles.
But that's different. That's different.
No,
sorry.
But
I misunderstood.
There's like 3. There are 3 different like Monk real books, I guess, where like guys like that like recorded or like hand wrote his melodies exactly how he played it. But there's one guy that actually went through and like transcribed the voicings. So it's dope to like kind of see exactly what notes Monk is playing and what notes he's not playing, and I feel like there's so much information. I think I have it on my phone somewhere.
Oh really? Oh yeah, let's do it. Where'd you?
Maybe I left it in my.
Do you want to take a studio break and really get it?
We'll take a quick
yeah. I want to see this. Or it could be in my room as well.
That's true.
Oh, wait, let me call it. It's a big couch.
I was like, I know I had it like on me because I'm.
Dude, that has happened countless times. So, these are the Monk transcriptions.
Yeah.
Nice. Dude, this is a deep topic. What Monk's voicings are like. I think there's an interesting narrative that I think it's gonna lead to, but I'll let it develop.
I'm curious what you think.
Well, I think that his voicings are very sophisticated, but not because they're complex voicings. Like the actual voicings themselves, from my experience, and I could be proven wrong, and that's totally fine. But like from my experience, they're like 1-3-5-7 a lot of the time,
right?
And it's more so the progression as a whole, and like the movement of things.
Yeah,
that is like really spectacular. And just like smart. It's just like really, and that's actually the stuff I'm really into, which is just like with like really like fundamental stuff, like getting to really like crazy stuff. But anyway,
I agree.
That's what I think is we're gonna see, but I could be wrong.
Two things I think about that, because like I was working with a student. He was like, yeah, I don't really know how to like play Monk tunes, and like he showed me him playing. And it was just like all these like really like dense and like complex like harmonies, and I was like, yeah, actually like you're doing too much actually.
Yeah,
like Monk was kind of just very intentional about.
Do you want to put these on the screen? Actually, would that be easier?
Yeah, that would be great. I just gotta find the right one.
Okay.
Let me see.
Is it like on script or something?
No. It's just Let's see. I think if I look PDF. Oh, transcriptions. PDF. Bill Dobbins, I think is.
Oh yeah, Bill Dobbins. Bill Dobbins. He's a bad man.
Yeah, there
Dude,
it is.
He's done some really cool stuff. There's a book he had called The Contemporary Pianists that is really interesting.
I gotta check that out.
It's really interesting. He wrote an arrangement. He took 20 of the most iconic pianists and then wrote an arrangement in the style of each of them for one tune. The whole book is all of me. But there's like an Errol Garner arrangement and like a yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, he's kind of decoding a lot of this stuff.
What was the name of the tune I was just playing?
Sorry, is that Panonica or is that
Panonica? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go. 54. We can pull this up too. I can airdrop it.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Plus, I want it for myself.
I got you. Okay. So yeah, already off top.
Just visually, that looks great.
Yeah.
Oh,
all over. Like,
just 1 in 5. That's yeah.
And then
I'm losing my mind.
And then
he does like a line. I'm curious what this line is. Probably the same thing.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing on each octave.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that DGD, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me zoom in so it's small. DGD.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
We need
That's
another
all
octave.
DG.
Yeah, which is like 1, 3, and 7. And then this is a whole tone scale. What's this?
I think so.
Da, 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 da. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like everything so far.
Very
Everything so far is
simple.
like 1, 3, 5, 7. The melody is doing most of the harmonic work.
Exactly.
So like your voicings in the left hand are 2 notes.
Literally, yeah.
And then that means that your melody is so clear.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is validating so many things for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then like just think about just all the colors. Like so, you have.
Right.
Which honestly, when I think of this tune, I hear him doing. There's a lot of tunes where it's like a lot of this, like like a Crepuscule with Nelly. Where is it? Right, or whatever it is. But there's a lot of this happening. Like that's a really clear color, and then 1 and 7, you know. That's like a really like a little more angular sound when he goes, you know, so. And then this one like, sorry. And then. It's like he's it's like if you were to paint something and with as few brushstrokes as possible.
Right.
And then having the main elements of the painting be as present as possible. And then have the noise around it be as subdued as possible to make it's just like and then there's a really clear shape, which is just like a whole tone scale down from the top. Mm-hmm. It's like everything that he does is like this feeling, like really clear, like crystal clear things.
Right.
It's brilliant.
I think that's the brilliance
It's genius.
of Monk. He's just like he was all about like cutting out the noise and just like this is where the beauty is. Like I'm not gonna like obscure it by like playing all this stuff. Cause like there's like he had the technique. Like I think there's one there's a recording of him like just like working through a tune. I think it's like on YouTube somewhere, but for like 2 hours he's like playing this tune, and then like, you know, the first time he plays through it, it sounds like, it doesn't even really sound like Monk, honestly. It just sounds like somebody playing a tune, but like by the end it's like monkified, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then there's also like 2 different like stories of him like apparently like sounding like Art Tatum. And then he just like winked at the person and was like, "Don't tell anyone," basically. But but which I don't know, maybe that's just like legend. But like I believe he could have, you know, he had to. I mean, he was playing stride piano. Like
yeah.
But I think he was hearing a very clear thing, and just like his priorities and values were in like, you know, just showing the music in a different way than what else was happening around him.
Yeah, man, dude, it's yeah. And when people hear his music, I think they assume that the voicings are really crazy,
Right.
which is just like, I understand, because I remember when I was a kid, it does sound like really different.
Right.
How does he do that? There's never been a pianist that tricked people more.
Right.
Like that, you know, you listen to it and you're like, oh, that voicing must be insane. It's like he's literally doing like,
right, yeah.
that's brilliant. I don't know.
And like, yeah, I think it's really in like the notes he decided to omit, like
Right.
like even like this versus this, it leaves so much, you know, room for, especially whatever like he might be playing on top, like you said, like the melody kind of colors it a certain way, or like whatever notes he chooses, you know, like that. That just like I think we start to hear all the things like in between, and that's why we feel like there's like more clusters, you know.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, it's amazing. What's the name of that book again? Bill Dobbins.
Bill Dobbins. Let's see.
You want to play another one?
Yeah. Compositions of Thelonious Monk, transcribed by Bill Dobbins.
Bill Dobbins is a bad man, low key. He's got some other.
I got to check out those other books. I really had no clue.
He's decoding a lot of stuff, man. He really is.
I don't know if this is the intro or.
What's this tune?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't playing the melody. This was just the voicing. But it's supposed to be Ask Me Now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to see if I can play both, because it's like 3.
Oh, so this is him like comping for somebody?
No,
melody?
this is he put the melody.
On
online,
like a separate staff?
Yeah, separate staff. So.
Oh. I think this is like the best tune of all time.
Yeah, it really
like
is.
whenever you hear these tunes, they're like
Sorry.
He's like reading it, dude. It's like could not be a smaller print.
I'm sorry. I'm like.
That's like this is iconic.
Okay. Got F flat.
Ooh,
That's a crunchy one.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then occasionally he'll do one of those.
Right,
really
exactly.
messed up voicings. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
Man.
But yeah, it's just interesting to like slowly kind of just go through it and see the choices he's making. Because I that's what I like always tell people, like the best thing about transcription is really just like understanding these masters and like kind of how they thought about things. Like what was their perspective? Like why did they make certain choices they make? Why do we like certain decisions that they made? Or like what do we like about the things that we like about them? Like and then I think once we're able to think about it, like we're able to think about it more critically from that lens, that then impacts how we then decide to make decisions, and then how we can start to create preferences of our own and find our own voice.
Totally. Yeah, I'm actually kind of doing a little bit of that right now, just like analyzing those last two tunes. They actually have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Me Now and Panonica. Or sorry, yes. Yeah, Ask Me Now was the one we just did, right? Both those tunes, the structure of the melody is kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go, what was the one we just did? Was it Ask Me Now?
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of an A melody played twice, right? Play it again. And then like a B melody.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so nice. Then we go back to an A melody. Which is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's like an A melody, but like kind of a flip.
Mm-hmm.
And then a B melody or like a C melody. So it's like A, B, A, B.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's trash truck outside. It's very important.
Shouts to trash.
Hey, it's ambiance. This is, just to remind you guys, we are in noisy Los Angeles. Then they got trash trucks everywhere. Then the other tune, Panonica, is the same thing. It's like A melody. Again. Then a B melody. Ooh, actually, it's kind of it's a kind of an A. You could say like A prime, A prime, but or B or whatever. Then A again. Then a A prime.
Mm-hmm.
And then like very different. But there's like a AAB thing he does a lot, which is really cool. But I don't know. I'm trying to, because I'm asking the same question. Like, why do I like this?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's the structural, the way his melodies are like he'll set something up and he'll play it again, but then it'll kind of divert.
Right.
And then like, because is like so hip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know? It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah.
I love how he fakes out the 5 to D flat, like
yeah.
He's like, oh, we're going back to C. Going to C,
and
but
melodically it's C.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now we're at C.
Yeah.
I just love that interplay.
Yeah. And then that's also like one of his favorite voicings is this one. He does that in so many tunes. Mm-hmm. Like Bemshaw Swing has that.
Yeah.
You know? And then or the other one is Monk's Mood, I think, does that as well.
That's another beautiful one.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing. You know.
That's a sweet spot right there.
Oh,
that's
is.
Like. Yeah.
Oh. It's so grand. That tune is so grand.
It is, yeah.
And to have Coltrane playing it is like the best possible. Mm-hmm. That's kind of low key. No one really talks about the connection between Monk's composition and Coltrane's composition, because doesn't that also kind of sound melodically, especially at the end of that phrase, kind of like a Coltrane thing? Fa do do we do ah.
True.
Sa do we di do ah. That makes me think of Naima or like all these other tunes.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those like cats really like looked up to Monk, especially like compositionally. Like Coltrane definitely really wanted to play in his band, and apparently I heard stories that like Wayne really wanted to play with Monk as well. Which that would have been crazy. That might have been too crazy, just like two worlds colliding. But I think I definitely, I'm sure there was like some intentional kind of influence in Coltrane's writing from Monk.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, like, what Monk's, what his preference of musicians was. That's not to say that, you know, Charlie Rouse wasn't an incredible tenor player, which, dude, one of the most underrated tenor players.
For sure.
But, I mean, Wayne is Wayne, you know? So, like, part of me is like, I wonder if he was just like, I'm good, or I'm curious. Like,
I mean, who really knows? I mean, there's that, like, amazing list. Have you ever seen that list of, like advice for me? Maybe not advice, but it's just, like, 20... things for musicians. It was like written by Monk.
No, I would love to know what that is.
I forgot who posted a few years ago, but there's like this list, 25 tips for musicians that he just like wrote out. This used to be my screensaver, but it's just like,
wait, can you send this to me? Because I'm literally going to put it on.
I got you.
I'm going to put this on the episode, right? I'm gonna have it right here on the video. Wait,
the first one is just
text it to me because I'm a screen record this.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, let's read these.
Yeah, just because you're not a drummer doesn't mean that you don't need to keep time. It's a big one. Pat your foot and sing the melody in your head when you play, which makes sense. Stop playing all those weird notes. I love that. Play the melody. Make the drummer sound good.
Whoa. I don't think about that enough.
Yeah, I also don't think about that enough. Yeah. Because like, what does that even really fully mean? It's
that's
like,
deep.
Yeah. Discrimination is important. I love that. You've got to dig it to dig it. You dig?
Yeah, that makes sense. Think about it. If you don't like the music that you're playing, like if you're not actively enjoying it while you're doing it, it's impossible to sound good. Like if you're not grooving, you know, if you're not enjoying the groove, then if you're not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also kind of the Herbie approach, which is like being like, you know, for example, like the classic story of like making the mistake and then but interpreting it as just something that happened. Right. That's the Miles approach. That's digging something that happened even if it's wrong.
Right.
So, you know, being open-minded, you know, you've got to dig it to dig it. That's, you know, that makes sense. All read. That's some 40s slang.
Right, for sure. Always know. And I think this is kind of in his book.
Always know.
He like if you like look at Monk backwards and then flip the M, it says no. But
ooh,
yeah, that was like some stuff he was like.
Oh, yeah, it's Monk upside down.
Yeah. It must be always night, otherwise they wouldn't need the lights. Interesting.
Whoa.
Let's lift the bandstand. Love that. Avoid the hecklers. Classic. Don't play the piano part. I'm playing that. Don't listen to me. I'm supposed to be accompanying you.
Interesting.
The inside of the tune, the bridge, is the part that makes the outside sound good.
I believe that. So, see, some of these are much more like simple and practical.
Yeah.
Some of these are like so tricky.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all good though.
Yeah,
they're all great.
Don't play everything or every time. Let some things go by. Some music just imagined.
Yes, that's the thing you were talking about. the voicings. We can hear the things being implied that he's not even playing.
Yeah, and he goes into that. What you don't play can be more important than what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. A note can be small as a pin or as big as the world. It depends on your imagination.
I'm gonna start crying. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah, this just shows like what we already knew, but like the type of like deep, intuitive cat he was.
But he doesn't just say these things. He plays these things.
Absolutely.
He's demonstrated these.
Yeah.
So well. Like you could listen to a tune or two and I could tell you which notes I interpret as being as small as a pin or as big as the world. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Monk's Mood feels as big as the world. Mm-hmm. Da da wee dee da wa. That's,
Right.
big as the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, this next one. Stay in shape. Sometimes a musician waits for a gig, and then when it comes, he's out of shape and can't make it.
Yo, okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about that a lot because, like, occasionally I just have, like, I don't know, students or anybody just ask me, like, yeah, like, how do you get gigs, or, like, how did you get this gig? And I feel like that's really the key. Like, I think kind of, like, it can be a distraction sometimes, like, trying to get a gig instead of being focused on being prepared for the gig.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And, like, obviously, like, somebody will obviously, like, there's a balance and, like, you can do both, but, like, my mom used to always tell me, like, if you're great, like, people will find you. And to me, I've always just, like, tried to focus on the first part, and I'm still focusing on that. I'm like, man, I'd like have so much more to learn. But yeah, I think sometimes we worry so much about, like, where's the next gig going to come from, or, like, how am I going to get on this gig, or how am I going to get people to notice me? And sometimes when we put so much energy into that and we're not focused on even checking in with ourselves, like, are we prepared to actually receive that, then it's almost worse for you if that comes and you're not prepared,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was talking to Braxton about a similar idea, which is like kids when they prepare for auditions and they will drop like whatever they're supposed to be practicing, or what, the long-term plan.
Right.
And meanwhile, which they haven't been respecting enough.
Right.
Like I told the story. I'm gonna do it again. It's my favorite story. Whatever. I had a student who one time I assigned him to play this like Wynton Kelly solo, and he didn't do it for many months. Mm-hmm. And then one day he comes in like, and he just wasn't very. He didn't understand the importance of it.
Right.
When I said to do it. But then I remember one time he came in he had an audition for his high school. He wanted to be in the A band or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh man, I'm so stressed. I got to learn this solo by next week. I'm like, oh, what's the solo? And it was the one I told him to do. And it's just like, the kids that do the best in the auditions are the ones that have been working on the fundamentals and doing the right stuff all along. Mm-hmm. And, like if there was a basketball tryout, the person that's going to do the best at the tryout is not the person that prepares for the tryout the best. It's LeBron James if he shows up. Right. He's already been he doesn't even have to. He's like, what are we doing? All right.
Right.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, like, set a screen flare to the corner. Great. Like, great. I don't have to. I already know. I've already practiced that. Like, that's an extreme example, but the point is the same. It's like your overall general preparation is like how you get gigs. It's not, I've got that audition coming up and now I got to start.
Yeah. And if you think of like, I don't know, I think we can be so narrow-minded in terms of like thinking that these big moments that happen, like an audition or a gig or you know, whatever my like we think of these big moments as like kind of like arrival points, but it's like it's really just like I guess stops along the journey in a way. Like I was thinking about that a lot after the competition, the Hancock competition, and it was just like I don't know. It's just interesting. Like we feel like all right, we're shedding, you know, we're going in overdrive for this competition, and then we feel like, you know, all these things are gonna happen. Like maybe I get a record deal, or like maybe people get some gig. But in reality, it's like the work still continues after that.
Right.
And like also like no one's really gonna remember this in a few years, even in a few months. Like the world we're in, so it's just like it doesn't like the way more important thing is like being focused on like the journey, not the destination.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, I remember speaking of the Hancock competition when then the Monk competition when or is that a different thing now? I'm thinking the Institute.
Yeah.
Are those things kind of
Yeah, they're the same.
So now it's called the Hancock competition.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So back when it was called the Monk competition on trumpet when Marquise won, right? Yeah, Marquise Hill. So it's one of my favorite stories because it's the embodiment of that. And, you know, everyone had to play a Monk tune, and trumpet player after trumpet player going up and playing, like, you know, someone plays Evidence because that tune's really tough, and then someone comes up and plays, you know, some other crazy, like the craziest tunes.
Right.
And yeah, probably practicing in overdrive, you know, crazy preparation. By the way, everyone's incredible. I am not diminishing the amazing performances that honestly I could only dream of being able to do. But it was really cool when Marquise went up there and he just played. I think he just played Straight No Chaser, medium. And Roy Hargrove was, rest in peace, was in the audience and was just losing his mind and just being like, yeah, like, you know, just, and because he was playing that shit like the coldest shit ever.
Right.
Medium, bro. Won the competition off of that.
Yep.
That's like, again, yeah, practicing overdrive is, you know, I'm sure everyone's better for it, and it also gave the competition that year was so good, and it gave it so much depth that everyone had these different approaches.
Right.
But Marquise just coming in and playing the fundamentals was special, dude.
And there's that quote that's like, we rarely do we rise to the occasion. We normally fall to our preparation. And like I was thinking of earlier, I forgot what we were talking about, but like that Last Dance documentary, there was an interview with his trainer, and like all
Michael
throughout
Jordan,
his career, he was just working on fundamentals, like the most basic, like dribbling, layups, shooting. Like even though we saw him do like these amazing things, like, you know, the dunks and like the moves, and apparently Kobe was the same way, just like constantly working on fundamentals. And like whatever situation they got put in, they were good because they had such a strong foundation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Michael, he became a master of 2 dribble moves. Like at the end of his career, he's actually not doing hella combos.
Right.
It's like he'll just kill you with a fake and then a pull up, and then if you bite on the pull up, then it's a fake and a single dribble. And then if you know, if you go for the dribble, then he'll cross you up, and you know it's just like 2 dribble moves. You know,
he's the greatest.
It's the greatest ever. But yeah, man, That's it. I noticed that when I asked you, the first question was like, what are you practicing? You had the most instructive, like the answer itself was instructive because it's relating to this. You went for a super fundamental answer, which is just like, what's the sweet spot of the tune? Like, I just want to get more inside the tune. It wasn't like this, you know, ancillary, auxiliary, crazy technique that, if I'm, you know, which is sometimes what I would do. I might have a really silly answer in that way, but you went straight for like, I'm just trying to get more inside the tune.
Yeah, I feel like I have trouble like knowing what to do with like the cool stuff. I don't know. Like, I wish I was better at being able to, like, whenever someone shows me like one cool thing, I'm just like, cool. Like, I don't really know what to do with this. Like, of course you can analyze it and like, you know, you can take it. But even with like transcribing stuff, I'm like, if I learn a cool lick, I'm just like, I don't even know really how to like embed this in kind of the thing. And so I feel like, I mean, that's not always the case. Like, sometimes people show you things that kind of help you, like, look at things differently or, like, open up, you know, a new perspective on something. But, like, for me, like, yeah, it's always going back to the tunes and, like, figuring out new ways of seeing it, how different people are, like, approaching it. And I think...
Check outside. It's a good thing we have dynamic microphones today.
Perfect. But yeah, no, for me, that's just really it. Like, it doesn't really get too much better than that.
Yeah.
Like, I can.
Check outside is wild. I'm sorry.
No.
Let's just wait a second, bro. Literally, it. So open up the door. We're trying to do a podcast in here.
Trying to talk about jazz.
We're talking about jazz right now. Can't you hear we're talking about jazz? Anyway, sorry, you were saying. But yeah, when people show you cool stuff, and then you're just like, I don't really know what to do.
Yeah,
with this,
I don't know. Like, I'm like, and yeah, if you start to think about like, yeah, like we're all just so like we're different people, so it's just like it's not even gonna sound. It might not even sound natural or like what I liked about that person playing it versus me now taking it out of context and then just like throwing it in somewhere. It's just not even gonna sound as cool or as you know, earnest. I mean, and this is one way of thinking of it. Like, obviously, we all like we take things from people all the time. Like, maybe it's not that deep, but like, I don't know. For me at this point in my life, I'm just not gonna out clever like these beautiful songs that have stood for like 100 years, and so I feel like if I can just get more into what makes them what they are, like what Monk was saying, like always play the melody and like just being able to like look at, you know, the ingredients like of what makes these so like, you know, long lasting and beautiful to us. Like I think there's just way more to learn from that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. And I like that, you know, looking at Monk's tunes from that perspective and just like trying to figure out like, what are the ingredients of his melodies. I think there's a reason why no one has written tunes like that. It's like, if you tried to make a tune that sounded like a Monk tune, I think that's the hardest. I think that's the hardest thing to emulate of any. Definitely. Like even Wayne, I feel like I could write something that would be close. It wouldn't have that mystery, that magic. Right. But you could write something similar, and it would be missing stuff. Monk is like, I feel like it's like you couldn't even make an imitation of it. Yeah, it's like so different. I don't know. Or like even like Benny Golson, I feel like you can make a song in the style of Benny Golson. You can make a song in the style of Horace Silver, but making a song in the style of Monk is like, I feel like, how would you even? Yeah, that's a really tough one. I don't know. I hope that wasn't blasphemous saying I could write a tune. I'm not saying I could write a tune like Wayne
That's
Shorter.
Exactly what you said.
No,
I hope they take that sound bite.
That's not what I meant.
Just take it everywhere. No.
But yeah, it's like, just trying to figure out what's making these things great. It's an important practice. What's up, Eli? Yo, Eli, you want to pop on camera, dude? Ladies and gentlemen,
the great.
Our guest, Eli, you want to pop on camera? Say hello to the people.
What's up, guys? We got Paul here. Yes, sir. What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about Monk. We're talking about a lot of different stuff. Tunes, little moves and stuff. We're playing a little bit of Got Panonica, Ask Me Now. We're playing.
It could happen to you.
It could happen to you.
This thing rigged on?
Yeah, you want to play a little bit, Eli?
I love it.
I'll play a little bit.
Let's see.
I'm having a little piano hang here.
It's weird. That's how weird with this.
Nice.
Short
Make
keyboard.
some noise.
Ask me now.
There.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, these are some monk rules that Paul brought in.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
interrupt.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the comfort of your own homes, make some noise for Elijah Fox. He's coming on the show very soon. Now that he's back from his decades-long tour that he's been on,
World tour.
just
for 2
absolutely,
years.
dude. I don't think there's a band in
We
the
did.
world that has been traveling as much as Yusef Days.
No, they've been on a tear.
I don't
Rightfully so.
know if there's a band that's toured harder in the entire world. I'm
Literally.
serious. Yeah, it's nuts.
And striking while the iron's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Say.
Oh yeah, they're in there. But yeah, man.
I was gonna say
Go
the
ahead.
Alan thing on Ask Me Now is like actually really fun.
Ooh. Let me get the screen back on. Oh, I didn't have this piano on the whole time Eli just played. Woo.
Yeah, but yeah, I always think about that on that tune.
Yeah, there's so much. There's got to be
Yeah.
so much movement you can do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, do it again, but do it a different way now. Like start. What was the first one? You did?
Yeah, I'll take some for sure.
What was the first one you did? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So what if you did a different direction instead of D flat? Where does that lead us?
Where am I now?
Like a B flat. Yeah. Do we?
That's kind of
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You could go B flat, right? Or is
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
getting it too soon?
It's like
Woo! Whoa. That's cool.
I'm thinking of it. That's that mashup. You know,
That's that mashup.
That monk medley.
That's beautiful. Gosh, so much harmony. So much harmony. I'm trying to see what other things I wanted to ask you before we dip out, because we've got a full episode here.
Another one.
Another one, in the words of the philosopher DJ Khaled.
The great.
Yo, I love DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Actually. We're not going to get into it. We'll talk about it when the cameras are off. But yeah, I just asked you. Quick questions. Just some quick.
Yeah, quick
some
flash round.
Yeah. The most swinging pianist to you
Ooh, man. Okay.
for today. For today.
For today.
I always say for today because you can never say forever. That's too hard of a question.
For me, it might be Errol Garner.
Woo!
I think. So the way, he sits.
That is the one correct answer, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely not. A lot of
But
people say other people.
I think most days I would say him. Me too.
Man.
Okay, here's another one. Who phrases the best?
Oh. I mean, Errol Garner's definitely in that conversation. Recently, Bud Powell's been kind of blowing my mind.
Ooh.
Like, kind of in a way I never really heard him before. So it's either Bud Powell or Ahmad Jamal for me. Phrasing.
Oh yeah, that's a great answer. It's a great answer.
What about you? I'm curious.
Best phrasing? I love Mulgrew. Mulgrew's phrasing for me.
Yes, actually,
Yeah, dude.
I showed this. I showed this group of piano players like that solo record.
Oh yeah.
And the way he's phrasing on that is incredible, actually.
Yeah. There's this one tune he plays called When I Get There. And I love this solo so much. If you listen to it from top to bottom, every single phrase is so clear. Is like doing something emotionally, and it's really like because sometimes you can you can play a solo that's like really nebulous and like
right.
You can have great phrasing and have things not be clear. You can like be intentionally like or just like super swinging, or you can do all kinds of different things, but these are like really obvious, like as if you were speaking to a child and trying to be very clear, or speaking to someone that doesn't speak English and you want to use like really simple, like
right.
he can do all kinds of different things, but in this particular solo I feel like everything is so simple. He's like just playing the blues for like, it's like a long ass solo. It's like 5 or 6 minutes. And I just think it's brilliant. So yeah. I think Mulgrew for me is my favorite in terms of phrasing. You mentioned a big three when you were a kid. Your big three was Glasper, Herbie, and Monk. Then you said in high school I guess later in high school your big three was like Bill Evans, McCoy, and Oscar.
Oh, well, no, I feel like that was like everybody else's big three.
Oh, everyone else's big three.
Yeah,
that was like everyone in your high school.
Yeah, in my high school. And even just around my age group, I feel like those were kind of... but I got into those three like much later, actually.
But all that to say, do you have a big three right now?
Jerry Allen, for sure, is in there.
Check out the other episode. We talk about Jerry Allen.
Man, yeah, I can do a whole episode just on Jerry Allen. But Jerry Allen, I'd say right now Bud Powell, because I've been kind of just going back through a lot of those, his recordings and appreciating it in a new way. And then probably Sullivan Fortner. Honestly, I'm like, I can't, like,
yeah.
It just, I heard him play recently with Cecile, and it was just like, he's just the best. And I heard him play trio recently. The way he just makes everything sound fresh. Like, he's playing like these like older tunes. It doesn't matter what tune he's playing. He's just like, you're just gonna hear things you never heard before on that tune. Yeah, especially the way he's approaching it. So yeah,
I think he's the best right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I've said it on camera before. I'll say it again.
Elijah
Number one, Eli studied with Sullivan.
I studied with him for 6 months.
Oh.
Oberlin, he came back. And
Oh.
The teacher was on my sabbatical. So
Man.
Yeah. Eli he's off mic right now, but he studied with Sullivan for 6 months over at Oberlin.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, Sullivan Fortner is the GOAT right now. That solo game record is, I think, it's very exciting because like if you think about like the greatest solo piano recordings, like really iconic ones, you know, like Piano Starts Here with Art Tatum, or like Bill Evans' The Alone record, or Solo Monk, or you know, all these like solo piano recordings. There's Oscar Peterson recordings that are really iconic. Herbie, the piano is such. Have you checked out that record? The piano,
yeah.
That one is incredible.
Yeah. There's also, have you heard that? There's a record called Nobu.
Nobu.
Yeah, it's only 4 tracks. Half the tracks is solo piano. The other half is like solo synth. I'll send it.
It's a Herbie record.
Yeah,
Woo!
It's kind of low key. It might be called something else.
What years?
It's like 74.
Oh, that's prime. That's that's special.
It might be also called something else, but
oh man, I need that.
I got
that's also, he would have been 34 years old. That's like my age right now. I'm 32, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, that's very relevant. I need to check that out.
I got you.
But yeah, man, I think Solo Game is right up there with the best solo piano records of all time.
For sure. Honorable mention, maybe tied for third, or between second and third.
Sure.
Jace Moran, I think. I just heard him. He's doing a tour right now playing all Ellington music. And I heard him in Montreal. And, like, yeah, I was there. In the audience with me was Joshua Redmond and the singer in our band, Gabrielle Cavassa. And, like, she was crying. Josh was like, that's one of the best solo piano concerts ever. And for me, it was just like, yeah. He's, to me, I think he's one of the best solo pianists, actually. Like, the art of solo piano, I think no one has more range, in my opinion. He's also low-key one of the best compers. I feel a lot of people don't know that. He's on that Walter Smith record, Casually. Was it Casually Introducing?
Oh, I thought that was Aaron Goldberg,
No,
maybe
it's not Casually Introducing.
Aaron
I think
Parks. I get the Aarons mixed up.
What's that other Walter record that was like kind of around that time? It's like a blue cover. I can like see it.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Not Still Casual. What is it called? I'm sorry, I didn't come with my facts today.
It's all good.
Is it 3? It might just be 3.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the one with working title. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that tune.
He's on this record.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's also on the Aaron Lodge
that's
record.
going to make me check that out with a different... I didn't even realize that was him.
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of low key on a lot of records that I feel like people don't know it's him. But his comping, he's just like one of the most like he kind of reminds me of Monk in a way, if I can say that. And obviously his own thing, but like I don't. He's very one of those deep intuitive thinkers that like really does his homework and also thinks about the music in a very intentional and unique way. So
hell yeah, that's a hit.
He also taught Sullivan, so
there you go. Yeah, he's also a renowned teacher as well, which is really dope. I would love to take a lesson from him. Yeah, I love his music as well. It's just there's that record that he did the Brahms. You ever hear this?
Yeah,
Intermezzo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The way he plays that, man, he's done some incredible stuff, and then the sampling and looping. He's kind of doing that sampling thing,
For
like
sure.
replaying it like on piano, like kind of. And he was kind of the guy that was doing the playing like people's voices.
I was just about to say
that's a huge thing now.
Yeah,
and he was the guy who made that really popular. I'm sure there are people before him that were doing similar things, but he really made that a big thing, you know.
For sure.
Anyway, shout out Jason Moran. I'm a big fan. Dude, Paul, I gotta say every time we meet, I guess it's only been twice, but dude, you've just got so much wisdom, dude. I just really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to right my wrong as well.
Good.
And also give the people just like even more knowledge. It's just like I really appreciate
you doing this. Yeah, I feel like we rarely get the opportunity as pianists to just like come together and talk games. I appreciate what you're doing. And also, like Noah, I was telling him one of my favorite things was like the Marion McPartland podcast, and she would just have pianists on and they'd play it. So
this is like low budget piano jazz with Marion McPartland.
No, it's great, but it's like also like I mean, just even getting to speak about the time that we're in, and like I feel like this is like important for like the future to like come back to this, and so I appreciate you doing this.
Hell yeah, man. And yeah, just trying to have as many piano guests as I can over the next, however long I'm doing this, hopefully more than a year. My goal is to get to 100 episodes, and then we'll just take it from there. But I think I'm going to keep.
Can I suggest some people? Have you?
Hell yeah.
Have you know Chris?
I usually ask, and I forgot to ask you. Yeah, who? Yeah.
Have you had Chris Fishman?
Oh, we're supposed to do that. Let me write that down, though.
That's my guy.
Because I've been texting him, and he's just so busy. Chris Fishman.
Chris is incredible.
You got any other? Chris Fishman's that's a bad man right there as well.
Super bad man. There's this pianist I really like, but most people don't really know her. But Kathleen Pineda, you know her?
No.
She's like a low key, just like brilliant.
Kathleen, what's her last name?
Pineda, Pineda.
EDA. Oh man, I need to. Okay, I'm not hit.
She's out here. Yeah. somebody I really enjoy listening to right now.
Hell yeah.
And of course, like Julius, if I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sure
my
it's like,
gosh. Why haven't I thought of that yet? That's great. Julius Rodriguez is a must. I actually got Telemachus coming in momentarily.
cool.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about, apparently he's writing music with his feet.
Wow. I want to see that.
It's nuts, man. But yeah, it's just a beautiful world we're living in. Lots of amazing music, lots of amazing pianists, and you're one of them. Thank you so much for coming in, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, from the comfort of your own homes, wherever you are, please make some noise for Paul Cornish.